What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your Alan Castro here with his first actual film vlog with some real editing stuff here. And today I'm going to show you my behind the scenes of what I do. This is my everyday life vlog. Ready? Let's go! I almost forgot. In order to go to the gym, I need to also make sure I am well prepared. Like this thing, for example, is my gym bag, where I used to go to the gym to work out, and weightlifting, and wrestling, and jiu-jitsu, and almost basically anything. It has my gi, it has my pants, it has my belt, and also has plenty of water bottles. You're gonna need it. They're very important. Anyways, let's get it over here. Yeah! This is how I also get to my class. I need to drive a car, and luckily I have some experience in driving the car. Well, some might not be a good word, but I have great driving skills, alright? I'll see you then. Well guys, we made it right into my class today. It was a little difficult getting to the traffic, but it's nothing that I could handle. Now let us get my bag and let's go see inside. Alright guys, we are here inside my class, right here in the gym. This is where I practice my jiu-jitsu. And right now, I gotta put on my gi, alright? I'll get you right into it. Alright, I got my gi on. I got my gi and everything else on. Alright, and so funny story. Sometimes my class will do it with gi, and then sometimes do it with no gi. But today is a gi day. And the reason why we are doing gi today is so we can learn how to do the technique, but in gi style. And then the other one, we do it in a different way with no gi. So right now, I'm about to do a second technique, and I will report back. This was a technique that I was talking about earlier. So what I had to do was pull my opponent right to me by grabbing the wrist of the gi and then using my other leg to kick up and then get on top mount and put him on a position. As you can see from that clip you just witnessed, that was me doing my technique, and then my partner also did the same technique back to me. So basically, we are both on the same learning page, and here is also one of my friends. Is it want to say introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Coach Geiger, blue belt. Here, one of the instructors of the Deck House Jiu-Jitsu, showing our teammate Alan. He's a pretty good guy, learning all the techniques.
And you have it right there. And this is the other clip of my partner doing it back to me, so it can also show you another point of view of my partner doing the technique, and then I'm getting flipped over. Alright, so we just completed our last technique, and now we are about to spar. Now it's time to show you guys what sparring and jiu-jitsu here in this jiu-jitsu class is all about. Just gonna go find my partner, alright? Well, let's get right to it! First round of sparring, I went against someone who was a bit more bigger and a bit almost like more out of like a bigger weight class. So I just figured that, you know what, I will just go for it and I will do the best I could. Because I figured that, you know what, if I can also learn with some big guys, then I might be able to just completely understand what to do against someone that's bigger or someone that's much more like a much more heavier class. But I kind of immediately regret it. I could have never been more wrong. And he immediately got me with a sweep that we have been learning in class for almost like an entire year at this point, ever since I first joined. And he also told me to try and escape, which I was able to by stripping out, but then he kind of got back in and, well, already got me like in the side mount, which I did not want to have to end up being there, especially if it's
someone like
Later on, I eventually kept on trying to escape from in that position, and I decided to do this because I did not want to end up being there, so I did that, which worked eventually. But then of course he was back down there, so I decided, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go back in there and I'm gonna just try and get a better position. But since he already had his grip on me, I kind of figured, oh great, now he's probably gonna try and pull me towards him, which I didn't really expect that. So my escape just kind of went a little short-lived, as you can already see. And I tried like bunking it away from him, but it was just, it was strong, you could say, per chance. I tried to find a new opening to his defense on the ground, but then, yeah, he already had me in the grip and then on the half guard, and then he pulled me back into the ground. And so I figured, well, here we go again. And so I had to find a new way. Tried to guillotine, but figured it was out of my reach, and my leg was already stuck on his legs being crossed on mine. And then eventually he pulled me back down, got me into my legs. And I tried to, I still tried to get out of it, but unfortunately, I ended up being on the bottom again. And so I had to, devise a new way of getting out of there, because if I didn't, well then, eventually, you kind of already know the drill. Skip it a little forward, and as you can already see, I tried to get out, but I really couldn't get out. I was kind of running out of breath, and well, it was kind of already over because the timer was about to ring, calling it an end to the first round. This is a clip of round 2 of my sparring, and I went up against Edgar, and so what I was trying to do, I was trying to find a way to counterattack, but he was just grappling on me until he decided to, pull guard. Which normally that is basically a common move that every BJJ fighters would usually do, is that if they cannot do any other moves like throwing or takedowns, then they usually pull guard to them so they can get the bottom initiative and try to sweep me into the same way they already did before, which I tried to prevent that, but luckily I managed to, but I was still trying to fight it off so to get out of it. If you hadn't noticed already, he is trying to sweep me so he can get onto the top mount and try to execute some other techniques or some other transitions, such as submissions like armbar or anything else that we have learned in store. But I managed to eventually get out, and I tried to find an opening to his other defense and to see what I can do the rest from there. Well, I went for the ankle lock, which is what I learned from my class and from my other classes I went because of the dojo crossovers. Fast forward this clip a few more seconds, and you will see in this part I did a roll to try and get him on an ankle lock or in a better position, but there was just a slight problem I had right there. I also left my ankle exposed to his side, and I figured that I need to get out of it, but I kind of already got off guard, so I couldn't get out of it, and I just figured that he already had me there, so to save my ankle and from being dislocated, I had to surrender and calling it game. Well, what I could say is, well, it wasn't really quite what you thought it would happen, but I guess I kind of learned my lessons. I mean, we're all learning. We're all learning how to just pass one thing over the other. I mean, I'm not really a 100% professional. I'm still a learner. I'm still a white belt. I am still learning here, and I'm just just doing the best I could. And we're basically all learning. So sometimes you win some and sometimes you lose some. Sometimes you'll be able to succeed and sometimes you won't be able to. But what matters in life is that you learn. All you do is just learn and just roll with the punches. I mean, if you don't learn, then, well, you're gonna fail. If you don't learn, then, well, then, yeah, you won't be able to succeed. That's why it's important to learn. Knowledge is power. That's what I always say in high school. You have to expect the unexpected, and that right there is what matters. Alright? After all, I'm already sweaty over here. Whew, but I'm telling you, these guys are crazy, and BJJ is all about just whatever you could use, whatever you have in store. Your strength, your technique, everything. Just use everything you have in store. That's what it's all about. No weight classes, just go for it.